So, can you tell me what happened 6 weeks ago?
Well, 6 weeks ago, John, my friend and neighbour, put his head over the fence and said, "Do you know about this fracking in the field?" I actually didn't have a clue what it was on about. Not a clue. I'd heard about it, got a bit of a flavour of something happening somewhere. But I think the problem has been with everyone is that everyone has something going on, and I've just recently lost my gran, my mum and my dad, and my brother is very ill, and my son is also and is quite poorly. So I have been quite consumed with that, wrongly and probably selfishly, but that's just been life. And I think this is for a lot of people, you know, we have so many problems, especially these days, and I just couldn't believe it when John said this was happening and what it entailed. I was in absolute, complete and utter shock that it was going on anywhere, never mind so close to where people live.
But your hair's poking out. Just, I'm not bothered. That's fine. No, that's fine.
Ready for the photo? Which one? I've got shade.
You've got to
Right.
So you said it's now all-consuming. So 6 weeks ago you didn't know about fracking.
No.
And now it's all-consuming.
Could consume it. And I mean, I didn't know. I really didn't know, you know. And I say, I wasn't quite sure what it meant. But as I said before, you know, with things happening, and this is what I think Cudrilla are banking on, that people have got so much going on, that they're busy enough with their own lives and their own problems, but things have had to be put to one side. This is now the main driving force in my life now to stop this. It's got to be stopped everywhere.
I know, just we need a body in the field as quickly as possible. Any body will do. Just long as we've got at least one.
So, John, whereabouts are we?
We're at Maple Farm, which is in Westby with Plumpton, which is just a few hundred yards away from where they're proposing to carry out the fracking, which is literally the other side of the hedge, on the other side of the lane, directly opposite here. And there doesn't seem to be any thought at all for the safety and well-being of people.
What's the plan?
Well, we'll wait till the others are at their gate. Then I'm just going to text, say where we're in position. As soon as she texts back to say she is, then we'll all just go in. Everyone knows pretty much what they're doing. Providing nothing unexpected crops up, we should be all right. It's just a bit nerve-wracking because nobody's done it before.
Our local representatives on the council seem totally disinterested in the health and well-being of ourselves here and people over a wider area. They are either seem to be driven solely by money returns, or they are following political allegiances and just acting as puppets.
We took the field at dawn, a group of us, about I think it was 27, mainly women dressed with yellow tabards and headscarves. We climbed the gates and then we taped off the field, put notices on all the gates, erected tents, claimed it under a Section 6.
And what made you want to do this?
Well, we've tried legal routes, we've objected, we filled in planning application objections, we've collected 14,000 signatures across Lancashire objecting to this. We feel we have a social licence to do this. We don't want fracking on the field, we're desperate to stop a drill going into the ground.
The local council here, the Fyle Borough, so many members have received money from Cuadrilla, the exploration company, and the others are not acting for us, the public, the ratepayers, the citizens who they've been elected to serve. And it's just a disaster waiting to happen. We don't have anybody who we can turn to for help, and all what I've heard, I'm absolutely frightened. I'm absolutely frightened to death of. And as a father, then it's my duty. I would be a very poor father if I didn't do all I could to protect my children. And it's just an absolute nightmare. I can't believe that it is proposed when we're surrounded by so much natural energy. You know, why keep smashing the earth to bits? Why keep creating more and more pollution when, as I say, the energy around us is absolutely unlimited and completely inexhaustible?
So, Tina, can you just tell me about what you've been doing today?
Oh, crazy day, crazy day. Up at 3 o'clock, everybody came round to the hotel, got ourselves ready, dressed ourselves as Nana people with our rollers and our hair things. Was scared, apprehensive, butterflies in the tummy, but just determined, you know, there was nothing was going to stop us. And, you know, usually when you organise something, you say, it'd be really nice if we had 20 odd people. And then 20 odd people say they'll come, but then you think, well, maybe 10 will turn up. But they didn't. Everybody who said they would did, and here we are. So, yeah, so we got on the minibus, we came here, took the field. A few scary moments, I suppose, on not sure if we get in. Once we were in, then that was it. We sent the press release that was drafted and ready to go. So since then, BBC Radio Lancashire has been covering it through the morning. They came down to do it live recently, which is fantastic. It's good to get it while it's fresh and new and before it gets tainted by anything else. The encounters with the police and the farmer and the security guards, amazing. Really weird, because when you turn up like this, it's very hard not to smile at you, because you're kind of weird and cute, really, because you're just a grandma. And it wasn't, I didn't look very threatening, I don't think. So, but then again, that's the aim. You know, yesterday in the Gazette it said the anti-frackers were, you know, scaring the community, and that business people were afraid to come out in favour of fracking because they were scared of us. And as if that's the reason they're quiet, as if that's the reason there are no cheerleaders for fracking. You know, I mean, have the courage of their convictions. Why don't they get up and say, hey, we love this stuff? We got up and said, hey, we don't. You know, I mean, we're no threat to them. So part of this action is really to show we are no threat. We make tea, we make cake, we inform people, and that's all we've done for 3 years, is be informative and play by the law.
Can you tell me, how did you occupy the field? What did you have to do?
Well, we had to use Section 6, which says we now intend on living here. and we put that on every one of the gates and access points. But it's not enough in itself, especially when there's no natural dwelling place here. So then you have to use a 144 disclaimer which says, although there was never a natural dwelling place here, we now intend on making this our home. So we intend on occupying it, and now that we've done this legally, we've also, because the farmer threatened to put cows in with us, which I said would make the ladies nervous, we put some chains on the gates now with their own padlocks, because this is now a civil matter. This field is now a land dispute between us and the farmer. Now the farmer should be really grateful. When his neighbours got upset that Cuadrilla was coming to their area, they all got angry with him, but he explained he was compulsorily purchased. So if he was genuinely compulsorily purchased and didn't just take the money, then he should be grateful that we're here, saving him from being fracked. Anyway, the purpose of this is very much a PR exercise in order to raise the profile, because we're growing at a rate of 2 or 3 groups a week. So it's a really good time to fuel this movement and make sure that everybody gets to hear about it. We will not achieve the stopping of the building of the rig in this place at the moment, because they won't come back to start building until after October. If they do that and we haven't been evicted, then we can come and re-invade this land, and we have every intention of doing that. Next week on the same day, 1,000 people from Reclaim the Power will come up to Blackpool, and they too will camp. Whether it's here or elsewhere, we don't know.
Hi, can all the people who took the field this morning just put your hands up, please? All right. And can you tell me, again, all the people who are local to Lancashire, again, just give us a wave. All right, brilliant. So, what's your comment on the fact that anti-fracking protesters are not local to the community? What would you say to that?
It was a lie in Balcombe, and it would be a lie here to say that you're not starting with a community that already has its opposition in place. And then the fact that other people will join us, why would we be surprised? Because the water and the air don't know where Lancashire ends. It just keeps on moving. So even though we are a local activity, we absolutely welcome anyone who wants to defend air and water, because air and water doesn't belong to Lancashire.
What do you want people to understand about what you're doing here today?
We don't want fracking. We've been let down by our council because we attended a public meeting last week, and Councillor Oates, is it, Tina?
Liz Oates.
Fantastic. She put through a motion to at least have a moratorium, she said, at least pause while we deal with the public's obvious anxiety about this new industry. But that got turned down, and they all voted to just push through to Lancashire County Council that they would like to see stricter regulation, which really isn't enough as far as we're concerned.
Can I check then, so are you from Reclaim the Power, or are you local?
No, we're all local. We're local mothers and grandmothers from groups like Residents Action on Filed Fracking, Frack Free Filed, Fleetwood Folks Say No to Fracking, Thornton United Frack Free, oh God, there's so many groups. Keep East Lancashire Frack Free, and this afternoon we'll be joined by lots of the other groups. I mean, obviously this was highly secret till today, so only a really core small group knew, but now we'll send that message out to the rest of the groups. There are 20 groups in Lancashire fighting this, so.
How many groups are there in the whole country?
More than 280 now, I think, but we grow at like 2 groups a week minimum. Every time a town is informed and brought up to speed about what the shale gas industry really does bring to your community, rather than the glossy brochure image, then they instantly start an anti-fracking group.
And when did you first learn about fracking?
I first got into fracking late last year. It was during the Barton Moss protests. I saw that on the news. That I knew what fracking was. I knew I didn't agree with fracking, but I wasn't aware of the protest groups. Didn't know how to get involved. But I did. And as soon as I did, I found that there were wonderful people there that were very like-minded. They had some very good strategies. There wasn't all direct action. There was a lot of other, meetings. We go to council meetings. We ask, quite good questions. We try and raise awareness that way. But sometimes it doesn't work, and you do have to take direct action.
Do you think that the people in this group are professional protesters?
Oh, absolutely not, absolutely not. No, they're all very local. They're all local groups from Garstang, Fleetwood, Nitty Nanas of Lancashire, Fleetwood are involved, St Anne's are involved, as well as Blackpool, you know, Residents Action of Biofracking. They're all very local groups. As far as I know, they don't protest about any other points. It is just the fracking is the one issue that we stand against. We're anti-fracking groups, we're local anti-fracking groups. We've been expecting the drill to come back to Blackpool for quite a while. We've been ready for this camp, and now we're doing it.
And are you a mother yourself?
Yes, I am.
How many children do you have?
I've got 2 little boys, 10 and 13.
Okay. And are you staying on the camp?
I am, yeah.
Okay. And what do you think about Reclaim the Power coming?
I'm delighted they're coming to support us. I'm really happy that they've chosen to come this year to Blackpool. I feel we really need to draw awareness to this issue. It's not wanted here in the Fylde. Nobody wants fracking here happening in this beautiful countryside. We don't want a dirty, great big fracking rig on it.
Are you aware that yesterday the grandmothers and mothers of Lancashire, a group, occupied the first field, which is one of the approach fields?
Yes, I am, and they've got my full support, because anything they or anyone associated with them can do to make people aware of what the government is proposing to do, then that can only be a good thing.
It's mainly the pollution of the environment that I'm concerned about.
And today is done under the hashtag
Save Blackpool, Save the World. That one?
No, but can you tell me a bit about that?
We came up with that. It's about Blackpool was the first place they fracked. It's one of the most important fracking sites. It's going to be the flagship fracking site for Britain, and we're determined that they're not going to frack in the Fylde.
Have you chatted to any of your neighbours about their views on Reclaim the Power coming?
Yes, I have, and the people I've spoken to are very happy at the prospect, because they think the more the merrier.
Are you thinking of going and visiting the site at any point?
Oh yes, I would take my children along, certainly, because as I understand it, it's a well organised, well ordered event, and I've got no fears of any behavioural problems at all.
So if you had something to say to Reclaim the Power as a resident who lives 500 yards away, what would you say?
I'd say thank you.